A 20-year-old girl marries an 80-year-old billionaire. 15 days later, she discovered a terrifying truth. At the age of 20, most girls dream of a fairy tale romance. A place where love transcends all boundaries. A place where the white wedding dress is not tainted by And although everyone is calculating, TR is different. She has never believed in fairy tales. Money can replace love. And a marriage without love but safe, wealthy, it's still better than a broken heart in a run-down room. Therefore, she nodded without hesitation, without thinking. When Mr. B. Van D., an 80-year-old man, wealthy and mysterious like a legend, "I want to marry you as my wife." TR only asked one question. "What do you want from me?" And he just responded to my presence. She doesn't know a single word. Just that. It's again the door that leads her into a terrifying vault. A place of love for science. The past and the cold-blooded secrets. Intertwined like a spider's web, spanning across multiple decades. It was rumored that he once went missing. 25 abroad. And then returned with a fortune of unknown origin. People say he once married 3 wives. Both of them have mysteriously disappeared. But AI doesn't have any evidence. He lives like a ghost in the walled villa. I'm in the pine forest of Darlot. A place that the locals call the house that breathes. Because they have heard the sigh in the middle of the night, emitting from inside the stone walls. And now TR has become the 4th wife. No relatives. Without friends, no one to advise or stop me. She walked into the villa, like stepping into a thrilling novel. The only difference is that this is not a novel. This is a real plan. Each line has been pre-written since 65 before. And the main character, "I've always been a girl named TR." 15 days after getting married, she found an old photo in the library. There is a picture of a girl wearing a white long dress. I'm smiling and standing by my youthful father. That person looks so much like you, it's creepy. The text on the back of the photo, written in faded purple ink. TR is my first-generation daughter-in-law. From then on, every secret was exposed like the lid of a coffin. Rusty diary with handwriting identical to hers. The medical file records her since 1972. A section of the old embankment in the basement shows that she is. I'm still alive, but how could that happen? She's only 20 years old and has never been pregnant. So, is the person in the video an AI? Or more accurately, is she an AI? And is love really what you cherish? Or just a name? A face? A DNA pattern that repeats from one generation to the next? For a purpose that no AI dares to name. Villa Wolvi quietly sits amidst the pine forest of Darlot. Completely separate from the outside world. A winding dirt road leads to the iron gate. Nearly 3 meters tall. There is an engraving of an extinct flower on it. For a long time, no one in the village dares to approach that villa. Even during the day, they say that place is not just cold because of the climate, but it's also cold because there's something that doesn't belong to the world of the living. And today, they're holding a wedding there. The bride is TR she-year-old from PHIN. 1 week ago, she's still working as a cashier at a tiny local bakery. Street. Now, she's wearing a traditional red dress. Wearing a headscarf and a pearl necklace. Standing next to an old man with white hair and wrinkled skin. But the eyes are still as black and sharp as a knife. He is B. Van Duong, an 80-year-old wealthy man who lives a reclusive life. Never been publicly married. I've never had a close AI friend. A man so rich that he doesn't need power to the extent that no one dares to ask. Do you agree? He asked if there was no sound. Clapping without a wedding song, without relatives, without friends. A wedding witness is a fake helper. There were only 4 people in the entire ceremony. The bride and groom, the butler, and the driver. A bed made from precious wood. After signing the register, he gave Mai a strange smile. It's as if he just finished a final task. In the contract, extend the honeymoon for 15 nights. Her room is on the 3rd floor, spacious and elegant. A crystal lamp hanging loosely like a beehive. But there's no groom. The housekeeper gently told the boss to rest in the basement. Don't go down. The automatic lock won't open at all. Mai just nodded. She sat in the room, feeling anxious and waiting. I don't understand what just happened in my life. Around 2 in the morning, a very small sound woke her up. Clank. A faint scraping sound came from the wall next to the bed. She thinks it's a mouse, but then a very faint moan was heard. Very far, as if echoing from the depths of the earth. My cold tea is refreshing. She stepped back towards the window, her hands shaking. And when I looked back, she was dead silent. In the midst of the quiet fog outside the garden, there is a figure standing still, wearing a black silk outfit. You're wearing the right outfit in the afternoon. I'm staring at her room. Those eyes don't look like those of a living person. I quickly turned on the light and opened the door to run downstairs. But as soon as I stepped out into the hallway, the lights went out. The sound of an electronic lock clicked behind me. She was locked out of the room in the dark. In the basement, the old iron door automatically opened a crack, and a thin stream of smoke rose up from below, carrying a sweet scent like the mix of blood and perfume. Mai stood motionless in the hallway of the 3rd floor. Darkness covers all directions. I don't know why the light suddenly went out. I don't know when my room door was locked. The strange smell from downstairs is still lingering, as if something is old and worn out. Just woke up after many years of rest. She's clinging to Theo, I guess. Groping my way towards the stairs step by step. Under the wooden floor, there are creaking sounds. It's as if it's protesting her presence. From a small window at the end of the hallway, the moonlight shines down, revealing something strange. The wall of the house has scratches. It's like an AI constantly scratching at it with its fingernails. I sat down, trembling. Touch the chipped paint layer with your hand. Below is a damp cement floor and a dried bloodstain. She backed up and bumped into a wooden statue of a person from Penang. The statue fell heavily to the ground. The noise echoes far away like the Chung bell. Hope to get down to the basement. At the same time, the hallway light turned back on. Just at that moment, from inside the opposite wall, a deep, melancholic sigh echoed out. As long as the voice of a person who is dying. My tea holds its breath. She pressed her ear against the wall. I am still here, She jumped in surprise. Who knows her name? Who is behind the wall? She ran downstairs to the ground floor where the entrance to the basement was already open. The steel door is cast in one piece. Now it's wide open, as if it's been waiting. The smell of strange smoke and sweet fragrance intermingle, create a thick atmosphere. It makes me feel nauseous. Without thinking much, she walked down. Each step seems to lead her deeper into another world. Damp and humid, and completely separate from the rest of the villa. In the basement, the space is divided into many small compartments. The sea wall, made of honeycomb stone, is 1/2 meter thick. She went through a room. There are 10 glass cabinets displaying items. Inside are some old, worn-out items. A fallen comb, a white long dress, a few books, and portraits of different women. But they all have one thing in common. The face looks exactly like Tiamai. She can't look away. Suddenly, the sound of heels slowly echoed behind me. She didn't come back, did she? But there are fresh, wet footprints on the floor. Lead directly to the last room. There is a hospital bed inside, together with the camera screen. Security is on. Tiamai saw on the screen, "I was sleeping in her room last night." But what makes her feel overwhelmed? It's an image of Mr. Duong standing next to the bed. She spent 5 hours, not moving, not blinking, like a guardian statue. At that moment, a loud alarm sounded. An automatic steel door on the left side opens. Inside is a narrow, deep corridor. Both sides are filled with wedding photos. Each photo is of a young bride standing next to her groom, in the same black suit with the same smile. Tiamai is stunned. She counted at least 6 photos, and at the end of the hallway there is a larger panel, in which the bride is a woman. The newly framed photo still smells like fresh wood. Below the photo is an inscription in Vietnamese. Tiamai, the 7th generation. Tiamai doesn't remember leaving the basement very well. How? Her mind is spinning. My hands and feet are shaking as if I've just returned from another world. Ms. Lau went upstairs to her room, locked the door really tight. Throw that smoky-smelling shirt and hat on the ground. Then, I sat down and hugged my head. He smiles behind Tramai. And she is the 7th person. She tries to remind herself that she is dreaming, that everything is just an illusion of someone living in a too lonely and anxious mansion. But then she suddenly remembered. You've seen a woman who looks exactly like you somewhere. Not in the photo, but in the dream. I've been having the same dream over and over again these past few nights. A girl in a white long dress is standing in front of the mirror, smiling. And behind her, a man in a black suit is putting his hand on his shoulder. Slowly tighten. Mr. Duong didn't show up all day. The basement door is locked, as if it's never been opened before. In the afternoon, Tiamai is taking a stroll round the rose garden behind the villa. There is an old greenhouse there. The roof is covered with moss, and the stone floor is scattered with broken flowers. There is an old man gardening in the greenhouse. The only person in the villa seems to be normal. He quietly pulled out weeds and trimmed flowers, not saying a word. Tiamai walked up to say hello. Then, where did the butler appear from? He was born with a speech impediment. Don't bother me. But the old man's eyes said otherwise. When the butler turns his back, he quickly slipped a small piece of paper into her hand. Have been granted, as if we were ready from the start. There's only one line on the outside of the paper. If your name is Tiamu, please leave here before the 15th day. She looked back, but he had disappeared behind the Leo goat wall. In her hand, the piece of paper trembled with the rhythm of her heartbeat. Why leave here on the 15th? That night, Mr. Duong reappeared with a wooden box. Black paint. He sat opposite her at the dining table, where there were only 2 people. In the candlelight, he looked at her for a long time and suddenly asked, "Do you believe in reincarnation?" I hadn't had a chance to respond when he already opened the box. Inside is an old ivory comb that has turned yellow, but clearly engraved the two letters MT. He pushed the comb towards her, saying, "This belongs to me." Mai has never seen this thing for a very long time. But when I picked it up, a strange stream of memories rushed back like an electric shock. Her own image in a white long dress, sitting in front of the mirror, combing my hair. But in the mirror, the person reflected in the mirror is not her. But she is a woman who looks exactly like her. But the eyes are empty and soulless, like a corpse that has been embalmed. She let go of the comb and stepped back. Mr. Duang didn't say anything else, just looking at her with a sad gaze. But hidden beneath that, there seems to be something that doesn't belong to humans. That night, Tiami dreamt of herself for the first time, locked in the stone wall. In the dream, she was screaming, and outside, there is a man wearing black. I'm quietly putting each brick back together. The next morning, on the wall next to the bed, that AI wrote it. On Tuesday, when Tiami woke up, the sun has risen high, shining through the stained glass window, casting strange patches of red and purple on the wooden floor. The damp, musty smell of dead roses still lingers in the air. But what makes her feel chilled to the bone? It's a sentence written in white chalk on the window glass. From the inside, don't trust him on the fourth day. There's no one else in the room besides you. The window is locked. Everything feels as if this villa is alive. And I'm recording every day of my existence here. Breakfast is served in the dining room in the West Wing. For the first time since our wedding day, there are people sitting and eating together. Mr. Tiami and a stranger woman around 30 years old, wearing a purple dress and having slightly curly hair, eyes as dark and deep as a bottomless pit. This is Mrs. Dak, the family advisor of Mr. Didung Gigi, a woman who doesn't smile and doesn't shake hands. She looked at Tiami from head to toe, then gently asked her if she's having nightmares. A question is like a slap. Tiami is speechless, wondering how she could possibly know. But before she could ask a question, Thuk had already continued speaking. Don't try to understand this house. Just remember, there are some things that have happened and will happen again. Tiami feels like she's being watched. All actions in the villa, we all feel like we're being watched. She tried to get out of the gate, but the big iron gate has been locked from the outside. There are neither keys nor AI in the neighboring village. This place is like an isolated oasis in the midst of a pine forest. No phone, no network, no human voice. That afternoon, when I was passing through the hallway on the second floor, she saw the door of the attic room was slightly open. Inside is a small room covered in dust. There's only one big mirror that's all moldy. Enter an old wardrobe. She decided to turn away, but a sudden gentle breeze made the cabinet door swing open wide. There is a wedding dress hanging inside. It's exactly what she wore at the wedding ceremony. But what almost made her collapse? There are actually 6 identical ones. Hang them up. Each one is equipped with a small nameplate. Tray my 1.983, Tray my 1.991, Tray my 1.999. 2007 and 2015. Chop me 2.023, and the bottom is blank without a nameplate. But you know that's a place for you. Just at that moment, a loud clang sounded from behind. She turned around and Thuck was standing there, his eyes showing no emotion. There are names that you didn't choose yourself. There are fates that have been predetermined long ago. Mai stuttered, "What is this? What is everyone doing here?" Mrs. Dak just smiled and said slowly, "They call it the return cycle. A life that never ends, until the last person wakes up." That night, Mai didn't dare to sleep. She wrote something on the wall of her room. "I am a real American T." The next morning, when I woke up, the post had been deleted. And instead, it's a different sentence, written in a handwriting that isn't hers. "Do you think you can really escape from life?" The afternoon rain in Dollart fell unexpectedly like a blanket. Tang. Mai sat motionless by the window on the third floor. "I'd stick it on the slight ink smudge on the opposite stone wall. The new sentence you wrote yesterday. I'm Mai in real life. It has now disappeared as if it never existed." The question keeps repeating in her head. If I'm not real, then what is real? To get rid of the feeling of insanity, she decided to go to the library, the largest room in the villa, a place filled with old books and documents that are sealed. Most of it is already covered in dust. But in the top corner of the cabinet, after pulling out a bookshelf with a light rotation mechanism, she discovered a hidden compartment. There is a small black and blue diary inside. Soft goat leather without a title. She opened the first line, making her heart stop beating. "A person named Mai is alone today. Today is the wedding day. I just got back to Villa Wolvi." She continues to read what has been written. It's about the things that have happened in the last 4 days. Every detail, every emotion, every nightmare. Everything is just like what you've just experienced. Mai is absolutely correct in dealing with people. You've never written these lines. The last page is what almost made her cry. Don't trust AI on any day. Both he and Mrs. Thuck, as well as the gardener, they are all part of the loop. If Mai can read this far, then it means the loop has started again. When the 6th generation Jimmy died, she was speechless. In the 6th life, she is the 7th person. So this is Mai's diary before you. But your handwriting is your own. You didn't write it, but you remember this handwriting. It's the handwriting I practiced during my university entrance exams. The handwriting that once wrote a letter to Mom is still the same. Can't make a mistake. It's obvious that AI is controlling everything. Or worse, you're not really you. But it's a copy of an AI that once existed. In the evening, she quietly snuck down to the basement once again. But this time, the door is permanently locked using the keyless system. Can't open it at all. However, when she went back upstairs, passed through the corridor leading to the restricted area, she saw a large painting that had just been hung up. The painting is a recent wedding photo. Just got photographed at the wedding ceremony. She and he are standing next to each other. What's scary is, there is a small, engraved bronze plaque below the photo. Mai, the 7th generation, 2.025. The question mark in the palm seems to be waiting for AI to engrave it further. Mai burst into laughter. But that's not a relieved laugh. But it's a panic-stricken laugh. It's chilly and spacious. Then she fell silent. When I saw a figure flit past in the hallway. In the end, chase after a person in a white dress with long hair. Exactly like the images in those recurring dreams. But when I got there, she only saw a large mirror hanging on the wall. In the mirror, Mai's image was trembling. The only thing is, she didn't blink in the mirror. That night, the entire Villa Vai is beautifully lit up. The faint scent of candles in the air. Mix it with classical music. The sound is coming from the radio. Place the old and worn-out items in the large hall. Mai was stunned when the housekeeper approached her. Give her a fake black dress that's too long for her knees. The boss wants you to wear this for the party tonight. Mai was surprised that the butler didn't respond. Just smiling a true smile. Speaking like someone who already knows everything. But there's no longer a choice. When Mai entered the large living room, she almost stood up again. Everyone is sitting on the sofa. But it's strange that none of them moved. 8 people. There are both men and women. Everyone is dressed elegantly and sitting neatly as expected. A perfectly made-up face. A soulless gaze. Look straight at the main dining table in the middle of the room. And at the head of the table, Mr. B. von Didung is waiting for her. Holding a glass of red wine in my hand. I'm here already. Good, today is a special day. It's exactly the 6th day. His name is Mai, speaking in a runny voice and looking around. The gentleman replied briefly. Each person in. They once witnessed Mai stepping into a loop. And now I'm the next one. She wanted to back out and run away, but the floor was as slippery as ice. She feels dizzy. The air became so thick it was hard to breathe. And then suddenly, all the lights suddenly went out. Darkness swallowed the room in an instant. And in that dark void, a voice rang out. Clearly not yours. It's not from anyone you know either. Mai, have you woken up yet? Mila is trying to back off. But behind is a cold, unfeeling person. She replayed it. One of the guests has left their seat. Her eyes are dark and dull, and there are cracks on both sides of her face like broken pottery. She screamed and ran out of the room. Fell onto the marble floor of the hallway. Are all the seats empty when the lights turn back on? There is no AI anymore. No master, no housekeeper, no guests. Only you. Feeling lost and confused in the spacious banquet hall, where the wine is still evaporating. And the wet footprints. The way out to the garden behind the villa. Follow that footprint. And it leads to the nameless stone tomb behind the garden. A place where white roses bloom all year round. Even though no one is taking care of me. Open one on the stone slab. The inscription on the stone gradually emerged in the dim light. Mai is the only one who doesn't remember that she has died. After seeing the inscription on the tombstone, Mai is the only one who doesn't remember that she has died. Mai stood still in the cold garden. The wind swept through the forest, causing her dress to shiver slightly. But it's not because of the weather, but because of what's breaking in her mind. She wondered if she wasn't going to die. Then why is the name here? And if I'm already dead, then who is living in this body? When returning to the villa, she discovered a small door behind the shoe curtain. In the living room. I've always been kept in the dark until now. Curiosity prompted her to step forward and pull the curtain to the side. Behind the heavy fabric is a narrow brick path. Humid and cold, without light. She uses the flashlight on her phone. My heart is pounding for the first time. The path leads down to another basement. Very different from the main basement. Smaller, but with a strong smell of disinfectant. There are closed wooden cabinets on the wall. Numbered the items with a copper plate. There is a long wooden table in the middle of the room. Place a yellow file box on it with the inscription "Open." The project of restoring the experimental area for 5 subjects, Model number TRMI, is stunning. She opened the RAW file. There are a lot of documents inside. Drawings and especially ... brain scan image analyzing DNA medical records in detail. The things you never do. Never sign. But each document clearly states the name of the American T. Born on the 4th of October 2005, initialization version 2.025. Initiate, she didn't give birth. TRMI quickly flipped to the last page. A handwritten report. There is a signature of B. Van Diedung at the bottom of the page. The subject TRMI completed the 7th template. The success rate of memory transplantation is 8.2%. Signs of early memory recall need to be monitored. The nervous system's ability to resist cold is still low. The moment of awakening, the second layer of memory. Planned for the 15th day. She stepped back and slammed into the filing cabinet in the back. One wing of the cabinet fell off. There are 6 glass jars inside. Each one contains a small object wrapped in white cloth. When she opened one, it was a human tooth. Each bottle has a beautiful label. The first jar. The second bottle. The third jar. And the 6th jar. There's only one last spot left in the cabinet. The 7th position is for C. The sound of footsteps echoed upstairs. That person is walking down the hallway you just passed. TRMI hurriedly gathered and withdrew the documents. Take one last picture that gets stuck in the back of your mind. A blurry black and white photo of Mr. D, but standing next to a young man. Just like him. The only difference is that the photo is dated to the 7th of May 1963. Along with that, there is a note in red ink. NT nourishing root object. The third body transformation process. Success. TRMI quickly tucked the documents into her jacket. My heart is pounding so hard it feels like it's going to rip my chest apart. Under the yellow light, opening H from the stone wall. The sentences in the report. It's still vivid in my mind. The ability to recall the second layer of memories. Planned for the 15th day. So those are the dreams. Familiar feelings. The times you see yourself in photos or in the mirror. It's not an illusion. Those are the lingering memories of the TRMI before you. She returned to the narrow hallway, trying to tread as lightly as possible. But the footsteps behind me are getting louder and louder. She hurriedly pushed someone into hiding behind the metal refrigerator. And from the small gap, she saw a person in a white car pass by. Mrs. Thuck walked into the room where the files are kept. Don't look around. Just standing in front of an empty glass jar. Take out a new label. Team TRMI 7 is getting ready for Tim T. I want to stop beating and leave a few minutes later. When we're sure that AI TRMI won't sneak back. But instead of going back to the room, go down the auxiliary corridor, leading down to a row of older, more run-down rooms. A place she has never dared to enter before. The last door is slightly open. There is a soundproof room inside, with an old worn-out monitor placed in the middle of the table. There are at least 20 VHS tapes. Each roll is labeled with TRMI and a different year, 1.983, 1.991, 1.999. A notebook. Just finished writing, not completed yet. Miss Cho, please insert the tape into the player. The screen flickered a few times before it came on. The opening scene, but it is clear that this villa has two-way glass installed in the room. A girl sitting in the middle of the room, her face turned away from the camera. When she comes back, that face looks exactly like Tia Mai. Tia Mai from the sixth generation whispered, but she is still alive. Screen transition. Tremai is talking to Mr. D. There is no sound. Only the subtitles are typed at the bottom, like a record of an experiment. I know I'm not the first person. I remember everything, and I won't let you continue anymore. I've left a sign for the next person. If she is smart, she will find me. The screen is flickering. Suddenly, the camera switched to the scene of the garden behind the villa. Beneath the white rose tree where the nameless stone tomb is located. And in a blurry frame at the bottom of the screen, Tia Mai from the sixth generation is still alive and digging in the ground. Not already dead. She's hiding somewhere around here, and maybe she is waiting for Tia Mai number 7 to come find her. Outside the hallway, the internal speaker sounded for the first time since Tia Mai stepped into the villa. Tia Mai invited you to the basement. It's time for the memories to be complete. She stood there like a statue. The screen still displays the image of the garden. And in the last frame, before the tape ends, Tia Mai from the sixth generation is looking straight into the camera lens, as if looking through the screen and whispering across the hill. Run and get my Lao out of the room where the camera is. Like a person who is being pursued. Her head is spinning. My heart feels like it's about to burst in my chest. Non-stop barrage of questions. If Tia Mai from the sixth generation is still alive, so where is she hiding? Can you believe it? And will you end up like the other 6 people? The internal speakers are still buzzing on the walls. Chami is going to the basement now. She's not going. She turned back to the garden behind the villa. A place with a tombstone engraved with haunting words. Chami is the only one who doesn't remember that she has died. Open under the moonlight. The white rose is swaying in the cold wind. She approached, kneeled down, and used her hands to push aside the layer of damp soil. Her hand touched a thin slab of stone, like a tombstone. Not locking it doesn't seem intentional. There is a narrow path under the stone cover, enough for one person to slip through. She crawled down to the smartphone in the morning. The path is so dark and deep. The air is so cold it's piercing to the skin. But there's no smell of death. But there's a faint smell of traditional Chinese medicine and dried roses. There is a wooden door at the end of the hallway. She pushed the door and faced herself. The woman is sitting at the table, long hair flowing down, wearing a silver-white dress, but still maintaining the familiar look. When Tia Mai looked up, she felt like she was looking into a mirror. But Kia's eyes no longer showed any confusion. That's the look of a survivor. I finally arrived. Tia Mai spoke up for the 6th time. Your voice is deeper and more tired. I've been waiting for you for 3 years. It's just Tia Mai. Her name is Thou. So scared that I can't call her my own. It's the 6th generation of Tia Mai. She nodded, being the closest to success. Until I find out the truth. She pointed her finger towards the stone wall. A place filled with old photos. torn drawings and documents. A horrific history that lasted for 65 years. Project High Nugent is a cloning experiment program. Secretly indifferent. Mr. Duong and a group of scientists initiated. From 1963. Goal: create a new body that can carry the old memories for him. He's not the seventh person from TRMI to ask this question. He used to be a person. TRMI responded for the sixth time, but from the third transformation, he doesn't look human anymore. The current body is just a shell. The only thing that is immortal is memory and consciousness, passed down from generation to generation. But to store all the memories, he needs a stable transmission circuit. And I am that conduit. My seventh T is so boring. What do you want me to do? I want to destroy the root storage room. That place holds all of his data. If it disappears, the loop will end. But I can't do it myself. My body can't tolerate sunlight. I'm making a mistake. But I'm the complete version of TRMI, the seventh one who stepped back. If I don't do it, on the 15th day, he will implant his life memories into my head. You and I won't be kids anymore. In silence, two identical women are looking at each other. There is no longer any astonishment between them. But it's an unspoken agreement between the two victims. The mastermind of a diabolical plan. Just tell me where to destroy. TRMI walked through the secret door under the white rose bush, guided by the hand-drawn map of TRMI. Sixth life. The path is deep and steep. The smell of rusty iron and damp earth rose up, intensifying. The light from the flashlight is so dim, shaking with each step of the old man. At the end of the hallway is a large, heavy iron door. No grip. There is only one fingerprint scanner on the side. How to open the whisper? She took out a neatly folded piece of paper from her pocket. It's the sixth note from TRMI. Our fingerprints are the same, but we have just been recognized as the complete version. She raised her finger and swiped. A loud crack sounded. Then, the heavy door slowly opened. The data room is located deep underground. A cold, lonely space, illuminated by 10 fluorescent bulbs. Very tired. There are large servers on both sides of the wall. Tangled cable. And the 10th screen displays the running command code continuously. In the middle is a transparent glass tank, full of liquid. There's something inside. It's like a human brain that is being preserved. NT Nutrition Unit Biological Data Center. The 8th round of reincarnation. The text displayed on the central screen. This is the essence of it. If you destroy this place, all the data will disappear. Even Mr. Dayong, including all the memories stored over 65 years. She took out a small gas canister hidden in her bag. Just need a spark. But just as she was about to swipe her GAR card, then, a large screen in the middle of the room suddenly displayed a passage. I don't spontaneously rewind or play back anything. Only one part is correct. TRMI from the 6th generation is sitting in front of the camera. Supervised. A face as cold as ice, staring straight into the lens. If you can see this part, it means I've already arrived at the data center. Then, please listen to what I'm saying for the last time. She stopped his hand, and he could no longer control the loop. Since the 5th generation, you are the one who maintains it. TRMI, the 7th one, died a worthy death. You are the first entity to retain consciousness, and just choose to continue the loop. To maintain this life for a person. It's not him, but our mother. The screen transitions to a dark open room. An older woman, eyes tightly closed, lying motionless on the hospital bed. Connected to a series of wires. Transfer from the biological server. There is a family photo on the bedside table. In the photo, there is a grandmother and a little girl. It's TRMI. Mum was once the first person. That's why he started the restoration project. When he gave up, he just kept going. Because I can't let Mum die. But if you really want to stop, then burn it and cut it off completely. But I'll have to pay the price. Mom will leave. The screen suddenly went out. The room fell into silence. TRMI is standing there, holding a gar box, looking at the biological storage tank. A place with millions of memories. Thousands of loops, and a mother is living on what she should have. Shouldn't exist. In that moment, she understands her choice. It's no longer a matter of life or death. But it's about the truth. And the affection and the clock system start counting down. 14 minutes and 59 seconds. 14 minutes and 8 seconds. 14 minutes and 42 seconds. 14 minutes and 41 seconds. The countdown clock is not an alarm, it's a door. Record of choices. Within 15 minutes, the system will record the last action of the entity. Number 7 activates the command to cancel or extend the loop. TRMI stood still in the middle of the data center. Gazoon lighter in hand. On one side is the live cable system leading to the biological tank. One side is the central server. Just burning one of the two things will end it all. But what will end, Mum? All memories are ancient virginity. She's breathing heavily, her mind is spinning. In absolute silence, she clearly heard her own heartbeat. And a very soft voice, like an echo from the past in our subconscious. Don't leave Mum feeling so cold, I'm afraid of the dark. That voice is from my childhood, it's my mother's voice. It's a memory that she has never told to anyone. But now it's ringing out clearly as if it's real. She tilted her head to look at the wall on the left. Another screen is starting without AI touching it. It displays a single line of text. The Mi-7 monitoring program is running smoothly. Activated BA-level memories successfully. Does TRMI BACK out? This is also a part of programming WHY. All of her actions are part of a series of experiments. All the love, tears, and resistance. It's all just a reflex, according to the pre-established script. She kneels down and hugs her head with both hands. I've never had free will. A voice coming from the internal speaker. The man's voice is slow and steady, as cold as being quoted from a record. Once the entity reaches the level of BA reminiscence, the ability to self-destruct becomes a valid option. If the subject chooses to cancel the termination process, if the subject refuses to continue the new life cycle, everything is in the final test. Does a clone have a soul? Not 6 minutes and 2 seconds. Not 6 minutes and 2 seconds. She laughed in despair. A drop of blood trickled from the corner of my mouth. The system is currently intensifying its activation according to life. Stimulate the deepest memories to resurface. A severe headache hit me unexpectedly, making her fall onto the cold tile floor. I'm still holding onto the lighter. Just at that moment, There's the sound of hurried footsteps coming from the underground corridor. It's the loathed TR, Mrs. Lau's face distorted with anger. He's holding a stick of dynamite with the safety pin pulled out. I'm hesitating now. You're just like her, shouting and not waiting for me anymore. I'll come on Friday. Planning to plant explosives into the central server. But I was stopped by the seventh person. Two entities struggling in the data room. Among the sirens and the lights. Flashing red. I didn't do it all because of Mom. You're doing this because you're screaming on the seventh day, just afraid that you're the flawed one. And what about you? I think I have a choice. I'm a living experiment who knows how to play the role of resistance. Not a minute, just for seconds. Not a minute, not even a second. A spark flares up from their hand. Both of us stopped. There's a strong smell of LAN in the air. And we both realized it. The data chain has started to burn. No one takes action, no one chooses. But the system has chosen instead. Suddenly, all the screens went out. The light suddenly went out and the door slammed shut. In the darkness, only one red line appears. Choose an invalid option and switch to the backup plan. A blinding white light pierces through my eyes, making TR startle and wake up. She feels her head is heavy. My neck is in severe pain, and something was just pulled out from the back of my neck. She's not in the data room anymore. No more cold basement, no more cable wires. There is no longer any warning siren. She is lying in a transparent hospital bed. Place it in the middle of the stark white room. There are no doors and no hidden corners. All surfaces reflect light like mirrors. There's another bed next to this one where a girl is lying down. It's TR Mai from the 6th generation. Still breathing, eyes tightly shut, hands wrapped in bandages, but alive. A deep female voice rang out from above, coming from an unknown place. Welcome to the crappy version of me and the crappy version of T. MI6 is returning to the recovery state. She jumped up and shouted, "Where are we?" The voice continues to be emotionless. This is experiment flaw number 2. The purpose of checking the ability to orient memory. After the proactive data deletion, version 7 is currently in the 3rd round of testing. TR Mai looked around in horror. Without AI, there's no way out. A series of screens appeared on the wall. Each one reflects a part of her memories. But there are memories. You've never lived through it. One of them. She saw herself walking down the aisle in a black wedding dress. There is no groom. She walks alone and then puts on the ring by herself. Below, hundreds of other TR Mai applauding. Different screen. She sees herself entering a classroom, teaching children. They all have the same face as I did when I was a kid. And then the 3rd screen. She saw Mr. Duong sitting in front of the mirror. But in the mirror, it's just her and him smiling. Use your voice to speak. This is the first time I've really woken up. TR Mai hugged her head and kneeled down. No, this is a dream, this is an experiment. I'm not something for you to play with. The central screen is displaying the last image. A top-secret research report with an outstanding title. Project on the 2nd floor. The variant of consciousness that merges 2 identities into one. You understand why you and Charmy 6 are still alive. The reason both of them were brought here is that they will be merged. There are no longer 2 people. There's only one Mai T that carries all the memories. The emotions and mistakes of all 6 previous lives. We have the same ultimate goal. Produce an immortal entity. The wisdom of the collective and the programmed soul. Suddenly, the wall cracked. A huge medical machine was pushed into the middle of the room. 2 automatic conveyor belts are moving. Put 2 girls face to face. A strange male voice rang out. "Hello, Trey, It's time for us to finish the last chapter. I will become something. But all the people before me have all failed. I will become a composite entity. 2 pieces of CA tape. Slide slowly into the glass chamber. The dome closes with a cold, crisp sound of bricks. The air inside is being sucked out. Replace it with a heavy gas that smells like chemicals. Make TRMI feel nauseous. TRMI is still unconscious on the 6th day. Guidelines from the sun. She directly connects to the central device. TRMI cursed the 7th time, but the goat tightened its grip on her neck. Ankle on the central screen. Start unifying the target entity. Summarize the memories and filter out the only soul. A mechanical female voice rang out. The forbidden memory layer is being Immediately, TRMI felt like her head was being torn apart. The images are so unclear and surreal, like a swarm of insects. An autumn afternoon in Hugh, 1963. A girl in a white long dress named Nugent, TRMI. Standing in front of the mirror. Applying lipstick nervously. Behind is a younger, taller man. A captivating face. He whispered that we would never die. I will be your source of life forever. The scene of transferring the girl. My first one is crying uncontrollably on the operating table. My hands are tied and my mouth is stuffed with cloth. There are 3 men wearing robes in the room. White Car and Mr. Diong himself. A face as radiant as madness. I won't just be yours. I will be your brother. My 7 screams at this memory that no one is allowed to recall. You've never seen it. It's not in the movies. Not in the file, not in the experiments. It's locked, buried, and forbidden. But now it's rising. And along with it is the memory of death. The last scene. TRMI committed suicide by biting her tongue for the first time. Right in the process of transplantation. Memory. Before you complete the first round of transformation. I'd rather die than live as a part of you. The Zoom system is so frustrating. Display screen. Memory entity resolution error. The cup consciousness does not accept unification. A powerful jolt of electricity ran through the entire compartment. TRMI opened her eyes on the 6th day. But her eyes are no longer human eyes. The black pupil reflects the red light. She let out a shrill laugh. We can't assume that everyone has a choice in life. We are not a broken mirror. The entire device is shaking. An emergency light is flashing red continuously on cow. Data is corrupted. One of the 2 entities is actively splitting. In the chaos of smoke and sounds. TRMI, the 7th one, is trying to twist a bloody goat that's leaking from her 2 hands. TRMI is still screaming on the 6th day. Plug the data transmission tube into yourself. As if wanting to swallow the entire system. Mr. Dong's voice echoed from the speaker. Stop, you 2 don't understand what's coming. If both of us destroy the system, it will... Trin's screen suddenly turned off, and all the lights went out. There is no more machine noise. There's no voice left, only a living sound of breathing. But not a human being. And from the darkness, a girl's voice rang out. pure but distorted. Sisters, I'm TR Mai from the 8th generation. I was born from two people. The space is filled with darkness, and the smell of burning from the short-circuited microchips. All devices have stopped working. There's only a faint blue light left from the broken glass, emitting rays of light as fragile as a dying heartbeat. TR Mai number 7 sat up. She's breathing heavily. Blood is still flowing from my wrist, but the mind is usually clear. Opposite Tramai, the 6th person is lying still. The eyes are open, but there's no focus. She is no longer a person, and then a voice rang out. The child's voice is as light as a breath, echoing from the center of the room. You chose to refuse, so I was born. Chami is replaying, among a pile of burnt cables and broken glass. She is a little girl about 6 years old. Long, flowing hair, barefoot, wearing a simple white dress. A harmless, cute face. But the eyes don't carry the innocence of childhood. They are the synthesis of all the looks that Chami has ever had. Cold person. I understand, and she is so similar to you. I'm Chami, shy, and my voice is shaking. The girl smiled. It's not a child's smile. I'm TR Mai, the 8th generation. But it's not from you who created it, but from the sisters themselves. For the first time, two entities are resisting together. Activate the forbidden memory layer and refuse to merge. The loop is broken, and from the remnants of two people, a new soul emerged. It's Chami who's speechless, not a clone. I'm not an experiment, I'm the result. Beneath the floor, another system has been reactivated. The 3rd experimental floor. But this time, there's no cold from Mr. Diong. No program is starting. They think they control the loop. She approached with a voice as light as the wind, but they forgot all about it. Memory can be attached to, but willpower is only born from resistance. I am the first entity with consciousness that is not being manipulated. Suddenly, the entire screen lit up. A series of faces appeared. TR Mai from the 1st to the 7th generation. Everyone has their own expression. Fear, anger, and despair. Stop Daijang, and finally, the look of TR Mai on the 7th day. The only look that still captures people's attention. And the girl turned around to look at her neck. Just the only person who didn't choose to stay silent. Neither choosing to die nor choosing to submit. So you are my mother. And I came to end everything. TR Mai stepped back, unable to hold back her tears. What will you do? The girl walked closer and whispered in his ear. I will erase everything. Even you, but this time AI won't live forever. No one is being cloned. No one is being recreated. No one is being monitored. I will take everyone back to where they belong. True death. On the ceiling, the self-destruction system of level BA has started the countdown. Not even 3 minutes without shoes. Not 2 minutes, 5 shoes. And this time, there's no AI controlling it. No maintenance, no server, no program. She's just a girl who was born to resist and choose to end it. Not even a minute, 5 seconds. Not even a minute, 2 seconds. The self-destruction system on level BA has started to shake. The cracking sounds coming from the load-bearing walls. The screens are gradually cracking. The data disappeared as if it never existed. The cable got sucked back into the central core, and then it burned. In the midst of chaos, That's TRMI, the 8th generation. Standing still, my red, tired eyes reflect. All the light is dying. She doesn't cry or feel scared. She just quietly observes. Like a guardian. In the end, for a world that needs to be wiped out. TRMI, the 7th generation, crawls on a floor covered in blood and people. But there's still something in my eyes. Real consciousness. If I cancel everything, I'm screaming, am I sure I won't be like them? She didn't laugh when she came back. I'm not like them. They created this loop to fight against death. I was born to accept it. A loud explosion rang out from the lower floor. The smell of burnt iron. Black smoke and red light pour through the ventilation slots. Not an hour, not a minute, just 8 seconds. TRMI, the 7th one, looked around in panic. She doesn't want to die. But for the first time, she also doesn't want to live that way anymore. I'm not being controlled. I'm not being labeled. Don't repeat. She limped and stood up. Look at that girl. It's like seeing a part of myself doing what so many generations have been doing. I can't choose to live differently. No need to erase, no need to kill. The girl shook her head. You can't rebuild when the foundation of the house is already rotten. If you want freedom, you have to let everything die. Not a minute, not a second, 11 seconds. Not an hour, not a minute, 10 seconds. At that moment, a final screen lit up. Nobody touch it. There's a deep, tired male voice on it. It's neither a machine nor a man. Hello, Trey, Everyone performed very well in the 7th TRMI event. That voice is not in any of my memories. I am the first consciousness to be uploaded into this system. From 1959. I have no name. But I'm the reason why everything started. You're just a copy. TRMI is just a data storage structure. And I am a seed. An image is appearing on the screen. A gray-haired man sitting in the dark. Wear an oxygen mask. There are thousands of biological storage units around. I'm not immortal. I just want to immerse myself in other bodies. To live again in a way that humanity cannot control. Every time TRMI resists me, I learn something new. Each loop. I'm getting closer to becoming true consciousness. But he looked up with bloodshot eyes. The 8th girl is not mine. It is born from freedom. And that will kill me. Not a minute, not a second, not even 3 seconds. Not a minute, not a second. Then, congratulations. Not a minute, not a second. The entire destruction system has been activated. White light engulfed the entire space. And then there was silence. There is no screen. No data, no discussion, no adjustment. There is only a simple wooden room. In a rural area of central Vietnam. Vietnam. Outside, there is the sound of the wind blowing through the cow trees. The clanging sound of a bicycle from a young female student. A middle-aged woman sitting in a chair, knitting a sweater. There's an old photo of TRMI from 1963, laughing on the table. The girl ran into the house and hugged the woman. Mom, I got a 10 on my literature test today. The woman smiled and stroked her child's hair, which was very nice. Even Nene I also has freedom. But I have... The camera is zooming out to the old wooden signboard in the yard. TR, my primary school starts the academic year in 2025. The story seems so sensational. This magical and sci-fi-themed thing. It's actually a profound metaphor about individual freedom, human ego, and the ethical limitations in the pursuit of immortality. One of the 15 parts, character. I represent a series of questions of the times. Is a person still themselves? If we are programmed from memory to emotion, desire or aspiration, victory over death, we are losing what makes us human. And is life still worthwhile? If there is no freedom of choice, unable to say no, my tea from the 1st to the 7th generation, we are all victims of a manipulative system. Realize that you were not born just to live, but to serve a different will. But it's the refusal to unite. It's TRS instinctive act of resistance. My 7th and 6th thing, which leads to the birth of the first free entity. The Bath TR. That girl doesn't carry the legacy of fear, not being programmed by old ideas, and she chose to destroy everything, not because of hatred, but because of the longing to be reborn in a different way, no longer being controlled. Freedom. It's really not about choosing between two available options, but it's the ability to create your own path. Even if I have to give up everything. Humans are not immortal through cloning, body or memory, but immortality through the act of daring to face it. Dare to make mistakes, dare to resist the arrangement. And finally, love cannot save a soul if it's placed in the wrong place. But even the smallest willpower, when placed at the right time, we can end an entire system. It seems impossible to overthrow a story ending with an image of a little girl in elementary school, living in reality, learning and having fun, not carrying the burden of repetitive cycles or compulsive memories. Like a reminder that rebirth doesn't need miracles. Sometimes, just being true to yourself is enough.